Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Spice and Wolf, episode 14. So the beginning of the new core. From what I hear today, we're getting a brand new opening, and a brand new arc is going to be starting. That match is for sure. The previous episode, was a very nice opening. Closing. Yeah, the previous episode was a very nice closure for the previous arc, right? I'm actually very glad that they decided to add this side story because it really, maybe not so much provided closure as we pretty much did have closure already, but it rounded out the ending of that arc, so to speak, right? We get to spend a little bit more time with Nora. We got to spend a little bit more time with Holo, with Kraft. We got finally that sort of friendship, almost, I would say, between Nora and Holo, that like mutual understanding, right? They're connected on some level, and Kraft is the one who connected them. I was very glad to see some stuff also said from Holo's perspective. We don't often get her perspective on things, so it's nice to see that every now and then. The previous episode was, I mean, it was basically just slice of lifey stuff, right? It started at the tavern, having a nice meal, Holo, Kraft, and Nora. Holo apparently fell ill out of exhaustion. It wasn't so much alcohol as it was just exhaustion. So Kraft had to take care of her, and that was a very nice, bonding moment for them, I would say. And Holo got to drink some apple cider. She got to eat some sheep's milk, not oatmeal, but like porridge stuff with what did it have in it? I don't think it was apples. It was something. Yeah, something that Holo very much liked, and she was treated according to the four temperaments, right? I really, really enjoyed seeing that. Again, probably the highlight of that episode, seeing that medieval understanding of medicine. That was amazing. Holo and Kraft got to spend some time with each other, got to talk a little bit, and yeah, got some nice bonding moments, and now we're setting off. That's basically the summary of the previous episode, really. They got to bond nicely. Holo got to bond with Nora a little bit, and we're going, and we're going in this episode. I wanted to say something more about the previous episode, but I really don't think there's that much to say. It was just a nice slice of lifey episode between them. Oh, actually, we did get some hints about Holo's like hometown, home area, right? About her culture, about putting the hand on her forehead, being like putting a nose on her forehead, and putting a nose on your forehead means something in her culture, like a kiss, probably, right? Stuff like that. It's very interesting to hear, and I hope we get. I mean, hope we most certainly will learn more about that as the show goes on. And I'm gonna be looking forward to all those moments because it's very interesting learning more about Holo. She's still a little bit of an enigma, right? Like we know some stuff about her, right? She likes teasing people. She knows her worth. She's fairly mature. What else? She took the position as the patron deity, kind of on a whim, and then felt kind of pressured into staying. She felt like she couldn't leave, etc., etc., etc. We learned plenty about her, and we learned plenty about her, but we still don't know, everything. Like, where the fuck does she come from exactly? Why did she leave? Those sorts of questions that I'm sure will be answered as the time goes on. We did not really have much of a like transition into the next possible arc. So I'm not entirely sure what today's arc is going to be about. I don't know if we're even gonna start another arc, or maybe today's just gonna be, you know, a very nice episode of traveling together, stopping somewhere for some rest, and then continuing the journey. And I don't know, maybe we're gonna make it to another city, maybe we're gonna travel with Nora a little bit to transport her to the city where she can pick up tailoring. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess we'll see, right? And to do that, you will need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show. And I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs nothing, helps a lot on Patreon, early access to Washio. And with that, we can start watching episode 14 of Spice and Wolf in 3, 2, 1, go! I don't see Nora. Okay, so it's just Kraft and Holo. Jealous of the tail? Oh. Right? Yeah, he knows full well how to manipulate her now. Oh? Honeyed peaches? No. Drat. Hmm. And what's the feathers? Okay. Interesting. I mean, were you expecting this? I don't think so. Could you not have started a fire? Nice. Right, we don't exactly have too much money, do we? True. I mean, in cold weather, it would be advisable to have a fireplace. Oh, of course not. It's a terrible thought, isn't it? How preposterous. Right. Sure. Yes. This is his type. They are both easily manipulated by each other, aren't they? Yeah. Here's your tale. I mean, you wouldn't need a fireplace, would you? Opening? Yeah, new OP! Let's go! Oh, those are some really nice effigies. And Holo is getting more and more accessories. Autumn now. New characters. Some sort of a noble lady, probably. Another book. A lot of books and book reading in this opening, right? Like scrolls, papers, books. And warm clothes. This is rye field? Yeah, I think it was rye. Wheat doesn't have those, like, whiskers, and rye... No, wait, rye is this, like, that grows like rice? I don't know, I really don't know my grains, do I? Oh? Why are they standing? Okay. We haven't had fish in a while, have we? We've seen him in the opening. Those are some big-ass wagons. Okay, that's good. So we can still procure some fish. Okay, a new prospective merchant. Do you have a tavern to recommend, perchance? Of course you do. Oh. Is he gonna offer lodging at his place? Okay. Brothers in arms, then. Yeah, time to adjust. You're no longer in the Vatican. Okay, time to start calling him Lawrence instead of Kraft, then. Beautiful, isn't she? And at that moment, he was starstruck. I mean, sure. You can probably explain everything by God's providence. You're hoping to get commission? Okay, we got lodgings secured. Are nuns in this world sworn into celibacy? That's a question, isn't it? Okay, so that's where we see those straw effigies. Yeah, that's a very nice room, actually. Can she read? She can't. Of course. Time to teach her. I mean, literacy would be very useful, wouldn't it? And my cat wants attention. At the worst possible moment, as always. Oh, yeah. Right on time, isn't it? Yeah. I wonder why it arrived here and not, somewhere that he visited earlier. Did someone send it to an incorrect location on purpose? Or waiting for hello? I'm gonna call you back. Why does everybody want something from me right now? My cat, my phone. Yeah, and the entire charm just like that. Like a soap bubble. Probably, yes. Thankfully, he's not here. Some fish soup, probably. What are his wares right now? I saw some fabric. Yeah, let's be careful for now. Right? Let's not jump into some crazy schemes. And let's trade with some stuff that is sure to make some profit rather than risk loss for a potential for plenty of profit. Right, gotta temper him a little bit. I mean, he has plenty of it. Too much, you could say. Frieren would disagree. Oh, are we gonna learn more of Yoitsu? Was it Yoitsu he was talking about? Sure. Cut to a hangover. Right? Right. Amazing. Remember hydration when you're drinking. Drink a lot of booze, but also drink a lot of water. And maybe some electrolytes. Oh, someone you know? Speaking a different tongue. Wanderji. Okay, so everybody preaching their own pagan deity? True. That's very true. I mean, I can attest for that. And so can Lawrence. So what are our wares? Nails. I mean, I guess it is a safe trade. Sure. They're similar after all, aren't they? Hmm. Okay, so certified attested nails. Right. So there's gonna be a lot of ironware. True. You need fuel for warmth, don't you? And armor and weapons can always be stored, right? They're not perishable. You can always sell them next time the expedition happens. Yeah. Let's not get into credits and debts and stuff like that. Is he gonna be able to move around some nail crates? Right, but we're gonna stay for the festival at least. Yep, that's a given. Oh. Right, but now he has a stationary business, right? And that's what you can do when you stay in town, yeah, as a town merchant. Traveling merchant can't really achieve all that. Eh, sure. Let's say for the moment. Back to drinking, eh? Yeah, just like it didn't result in hangover the last time. North, I mean, that much we do know. Oh, I love their banter. Oh? Okay, sure. Are there any nearby towns? No. That sounds like a cat place. Hmm. So yeah, information checks out. Okay, so further south. Okay. I thought Yoitsu would be like way further north. Which legs? Human legs or wolf legs? Damn, she's fast. Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't want to separate. Exactly. She, like, twice already rejected your idea of sending her home alone. Right, they go to Nyohira. Holo goes to Yoitsu, remembers the route, comes back to Nyohira, and uh, takes Lawrence. Yeah, we're getting kinda into the like Frieren dilemma. Yeah, sure. Of course, it's just alcohol talking. You know, don't mind it. I'm not gonna remember it in the morning. Just disregard what I just said. No, it doesn't work that way. And the symbolic crack. Bit of a crack between them two. Oh, that's it. I thought we still have a moment longer, but apparently not. That's a lot of new people. And again, a lot of books. And a bishop or something. Those are some tiny feet and some very thin ankles. Very interesting choice for the ending song. You need a second blanket. Yeah, the straw effigies again. And it seems they're both are gonna get a bit of a change in attire. That's good. I really like it when characters in anime get some change to what they wear. Bird feather and mysterious ore. Bird feather in her hair, and mysterious ore. I don't know. They're gonna discover tin. No, tin would have been known by that time if we're going by like relatively similar timelines. What could be a mysterious ore? I guess magnetite is plenty mysterious. So maybe that? I don't know. We'll see. Right now we're gonna see this episode again, shall we? Yes, we shall. Yeah, very, very, very warm tale, and of course, Lawrence. Lawrence has learned how to play Holo a lot, and Holo has learned how to play Lawrence a lot, and I really like this dynamic where Holo is easily manipulated by Lawrence, and Lawrence is easily manipulated by Holo. It's really nice, and the banter and those like bit of ribbing on both sides. Right? Oh, you thought I'm gonna buy you a gift, but haha, I bought you something else. Like, he knew she was expecting honeyed peaches or something, but it was feathers. Interesting that she poses as a nun. Any particular reason for that, or just she happens to look like a nun in this cloak, so they just rolled with it? Or do, I don't know, nuns maybe enjoy not a lot of scrutiny? Like, if she poses as a nun, then nobody's going to, I don't know, make her take off the hood? Maybe something like that, right? Like, the nuns enjoy a certain amount of immunity, respect, maybe something along those lines. Both Orthodox believers and pagans living together in harmony, which is very interesting, although it's probably going to turn out that it's not that much harmony after all. None but won't perform any sort of missionary activities. Interesting that there is like a specific symbol for that. Cold porridge. Again, could you not have started a campfire and warmed some in a pot or something like that? Right, it seems reasonable. If you're staying something for the night, you are probably burning some campfire, then put a pot on it, pour the porridge in, and have some warm porridge. Festival, hell yeah. And of course, Holo worried about their finances, right? She's not so... she's not as childish as she sometimes comes through, right? Like, she's reasonable. She would give up some honeyed peaches if it means they get to lodge at a better place, right? And she would not demand amazing like food if it means that they have to stay in their cart because they can't afford lodging, right? She's reasonable like that. She does come through as childish every now and then, but only when she knows that she can allow herself to be like that, right? When things get serious, she can be serious as well. I really like this trait about her. Yeah, she's not unreasonable and constantly mentioning those honeyed peaches, but no. I do not wish my snacks to be used as an excuse at a later time. Of course, she covers it in this layer of, baka, it's not what you think, right? But still, the concern is here. How terrible would it be if we had to rent a room with a single bed because we lacked money? Oh no! How bad it would be! Please say it ain't so. And yeah, the ribbing goes on both sides. I really like the relationship. There we go. Some very big cards. Holy shit, they're big. Those scenes here at the shore really make me want to play fucking Blood and Wine again. Again, book. A lot of books in this opening. Effigies, people dressed in animal costumes, people dressed as... I guess different European cultures have different names for those. We have I can't remember the name for it, but in Polish culture, I think it's before Christmas, people walk home to home, and like one person is dressed in something like that, in also like a deer skull or something. I'm gonna Google it right quick because I'm really, really curious. Ooh. It's a... and of course, there are only information about... if I found a skull in the forest, can I just take it home? And shit like that. No answers like I would have wanted. In any case, doesn't really matter all that much. It's a thing. It's a thing in plenty of places, dressing up in different ways. Those effigies immediately reminiscent of two things: Dożynki, that I already talked about, right? Polish Harvest Festival, and Marzanna, which is another bit of the like double faith we enjoy here, where it's Christian and churches and stuff, but we also burn and drown a straw effigy at the end of autumn, at the end of winter, actually, to chase the winter away. That effigy represents winter, and we burn it, and we drown it, and go away winter. And when I was a kid, we always did it in a pond behind the church. So that was amazing. Pagan, like a group of fucking 6 or 7-year-olds burning and drowning a straw effigy. Make a whole entire fucking pagan ritual behind the church. This is one of the aspects that I really, really enjoy about our culture here. People marching. Seems to be warriors. Could be, but there are also what looks like monks, and one of the carts looks pretty luxurious, so it's probably not a warband. It's probably some noble with the protection of their guards, or maybe some mercenaries. Probably something like that. Oh, you're our sister, aren't you? Could you pray with us? What are the words again? Yeah, a bit of change in attire, and I guess Holo is gonna be hanging around with Fermi every now and then. Is this the curious ore? It looks like pyrite. It looks like a big chunk of pyrite. Fool's gold. Is the curious ore that they mentioned fool's gold? I have a chunk of pyrite. If I can find it. Yeah, there we go. It's not the best one. Yeah, you can see those like cubes in it, and there can be like a really big cubes like this. The color is different, like this is much more grayish and desaturated. But it's probably pyrite. I wonder if someone's maybe gonna try to scam them, trying to sell them fool's gold pyrite instead of gold. Interesting thought. Maybe. Where is Spice and Wolf? Let's see. There it is. Pyrite. Fool's gold. Scam. Something like that, maybe. Why would they be showing a pyrite crystal in the opening otherwise, right? Yeah, okay. Autumn, traveling through the forest. No, they don't have a change in attire yet. Again, books, some sort of a trap door. More books. Festival, some sort of a tavern. More new characters they're gonna be talking with, maybe doing business with. Fish, pears. I wonder if Holo's gonna like pears. She likes apples, pears are kind of similar. Maybe. Fermi is gonna have some issues. Otherwise, he wouldn't be drinking alone. So we can probably safely assume that he's gonna get an arc. Maybe like 6 episodes about the festival and Fermi, and the next 6 episodes about something else. We have this noble lady, and another dude reading books. And then, is this the same person? She's a nun or something, because she has this symbol on her neck. And again, burning midnight oil by some scrolls. Is she a scribe, maybe? Dreaming of nobility? Assuming they're the same people. They're the same person. Probably not. We've seen them dining with Lawrence and Holo, so she's probably not the noble lady. The noble lady is probably who's riding in a carriage earlier. And the Wolven form returning. Okay. That was the opening. Newtown and nostalgic feeling. Cannot imagine what kind of foods can be cooked with fish. Oh, plenty. Steamed fish, baked fish, fried fish, fish sticks, fish soup. That's about where it ends. So, actually, not all that much. I don't think they would know fish sticks, like processed fish, right? They would probably mostly just bake or roast or steam the fish whole instead of separating the meat from the bone. I could go for some fish. Why are they standing? It's a very weird way they're riding those carts. And also very weird fucking carts. How are those horses even holding those carts up? They have to be hella heavy with those big ass wheels. And how are they even holding together? I guess maybe they're balanced well with the wheels being in the middle, and so the horses don't really need to, you know, carry a lot of vertical force. Maybe, hopefully. And we can already see Fermi here. That's a nice detail. Yeah, like this really reminds me the building site of Lebioda's monument in Blood and Wine. That's what made me really feel like replaying it again. Fish. Looks to be carp? Something? Some sort of a bottom feeder, so probably carp. Yeah, they're transporting the fish for sale for a client. They're not dealing with what's it called? Detalic trade? Not detailed. Detalic, I think, meaning not wholesale, the opposite of wholesale. Traveling from Ruvin High again. Yeah, it's not for trade. It's just for us. We're staying for the festival. And, okay, they belong to the same association. Interesting. Good to know. Good to have a brother in arms with us. This must be divine. Okay. Those words are forbidden around here. I thought this area is like half Orthodox, half pagan, so I would think that referring to divinity would not be necessarily forbidden. Right? Like, if there is an Orthodox populace, then you cannot avoid but have them refer to, you know, thank God, or it must be by divine providence, and stuff like that. So Why would it be forbidden? Or is it because currently in this place, among those merchants, there's a majority of pagans, so you have to adjust to that, to, you know, adjust yourself to the majority? Maybe. Hermi Amati goes by Amati, and love at first sight. Of course, I mean, young boy, how old could he be? 14 probably is the age of adult, right? Like, it's medieval times, so we probably become adult at 14-ish. So he's probably, again, 14-ish. He sees a beautiful woman, of course, doesn't necessarily know what to do with those feelings. He feels funny in his pants, doesn't know what to do about it, right? That sort of a deal, that sort of, you know, young love, starstruck. She's a traveling nun. Now, is this a deterrent, or can nuns still be married and have children? We don't know that. Hardships of travel could be considered trials from God. I mean, you can explain anything you want with God, so why not hardships of travel? Sure, it works. I can probably procure a single room if I ask one of the inns I work with. Okay, it's useful to have an associate like that, and yeah, you're gonna stay there, you're gonna eat the fish, he's gonna sell the fish, he's gonna make profit. He can see plenty into the future, right? He can plan ahead, he can see multiple steps in preparation. He's gonna make a very good merchant, isn't he? Yeah, you're good at business indeed. Very, very nice city layout. Again, it's not just a round thing with a river going through like you see in every other isekai. It actually looks like a, you know, naturally sprawling town, and I like it very much. There's a big road going south to north, because that's the road that people, merchants, take, probably. Right, and if you only have a single road, the city is easier to defend because you only have 2 gatehouses. You don't need any more. Now they have a couple more gatehouses leading to the fields, but those can be smaller. They're not really a good vector of attack, which again makes the city really nice. Plenty of bridges, which again makes sense. Very few cities with a river going through them have just a single bridge. Usually it's plenty. I would know. I live in a city cut through by a river, and Wrocław is actually sometimes called the city of 100 bridges, but we have way over 100 by now, so the name doesn't really check out anymore. Fields around, again, makes sense. All I'm missing is like tiny hamlets here and there, maybe. Right? Like when the city is sprawling and when people come in, then eventually they're gonna start running out of space inside of the city, so people are gonna be settling on the edges beyond the city walls, and then maybe another layer of city walls is going to be built. But it's maybe not a big enough city. Yeah, maybe not. Right? Like usually when a city is built, it's one central city with a nice big tall wall around it. Then people start settling around it for the safety, right? In case of any raid, any attack, they can run beyond the city walls. That's their safety. But eventually there's so much of those settlements, of those like buildings and huts, that they build another layer of wall, probably smaller. And when more people arrive, what can they do? Well, they start building outside of that wall. That's why many cities have this like concentric circles nature to them. I don't think any city that we've seen so far has that sort of an architecture. Nice wreaths, or however you pronounce it. Effigies, people carrying sacks on top of poles. What's that? Initially I thought that it's maybe they're carrying whatchamacallit, pitchforks, but they are secured so that they don't accidentally stab any passerbys or something like that. But no, they're like full. It's not just a burlap sack draped over a pitchfork, but they're full. Like big as torches? Maybe. assuming the straw effigies will get burned as a part of the festival, which they often are, I can see those being a big as torches. Yeah, probably what it is. Nice room with very time appropriate glass in them. You can't really see much, but it at least lets in some sunlight. Letter from a fellow merchant, warning him of dropping price of armor. Seeing the letter or not is truly the difference between heaven and hell. I wonder if it's some foreshadowing for some other letter being very important. Maybe. Some other letter is very important, and also I'd like to think that Lawrence might teach Holo how to read and write eventually. I'm not saying it's gonna happen immediately in this arc, but eventually. Lawrence teaches Holo how to read and write. Maybe reluctantly, right? Maybe with some difficulty, but eventually. She could really benefit from that if she is to travel with Lawrence, right? She is already very useful by picking up on some cues from the people, right? By having her amazing ears and amazing eyes and amazing nose. And if she could read, if she could maybe read something in, I don't know, in a contract that Lawrence might have missed, right? If she can read the contract on her own, that would be super beneficial to them. Lawrence can read it, then pass it over to Holo, and she can read it, instead of him having to read it aloud, thus making it known that Holo cannot read, and that could potentially be exploitable by someone else. Say, if some merchant approaches her and wants to sign a contract with her, a contract that she cannot read. Yeah, someone tries to scam Holo because she cannot read. Someone tries to scam Holo with a contract she cannot read. And once that happens, and maybe she is actually scammed and they have to somehow get out of this situation, she feels guilty enough to start learning how to read so it doesn't happen again. Alternatively, someone saves her from being scammed, be it Lawrence, be it Fermi, be it someone else, and then Lawrence, for example, makes the decision, you know what, you need to learn how to read so it doesn't happen again, and he forces her to learn. Yep. This leads to her learning. The information in a single letter can truly decide your fate. Oh, Holo cannot read a letter, and it's a very important letter that can truly decide your fate. Holo cannot read a very important letter. The fact that they're mentioning very important letters, like a matter of life and death, like between heaven and hell, this letter is so important, holy shit, and there are more letters that can also be so important, holy shit. And also, Holo cannot read in the same scene. I really think it foreshadows something. Who cares about a letter that does not fill the stomach? Something tells me you're gonna care about a letter that cannot fill the stomach very, very soon. Or maybe not so soon. Could very well be that we see that in like 5 seasons time, or however long this show is going to be going for. Like, it's a 25 episodes show, so I wonder actually. It's probably not going to cover the entire source material. I really don't think it will. Or maybe it will, actually. I mean, I don't know how long is the light novel. I wonder if it doesn't cover the entire source material. I wonder if a second season is already in like TBD. That would be nice. Yeah, waiting for the lady of his heart, who is, unbeknownst to him, already taken. He's gonna be an interesting addition to the cast, isn't he? And the contrast between a noble, pure, and the pretty lady who's just wolfing down the fish with no regard for savoir vivre and downing a whole entire mug of wine to chase it down. All that's missing is for her to just, tap herself on the stomach and burp. Yeah, he would probably call it a scam. What are we having? Some predator fish and some potato soup, probably fish soup as well. If the town is known for their fish, then makes sense it would be fish soup. What is wrong with your wares? Nails. Right, nails. Yeah, let's be a little bit more careful about it. Last time, Lawrence tried to turn enormous profit by risking. That risk didn't pay off. So, for the time being, until we fill our war chest again, let's do the safe trades. Let's make some, not much, but stable and safe profit. Once we get enough money that we can risk a part of it, sure, risk a part of it. But still remember to have enough to turn, a solid, consistent, safe profit. I don't only have things that are dull on the eyes. Okay, so I guess... Oh, right, and he has Holo. I really enjoyed their banter. Taste and scent. In the Yoitsu town, the town that worshipped the pagan wolf god. Singular? Like, all this time I thought that Yoitsu is like a town or city or area of wolves, like Holo, right? Like, this is where the wolf people live. But is it more like Yoitsu being a pagan city that worships a pagan wolf god, and the wolves simply like live nearby Yoitsu, and because they're benevolent of Yoitsu, then Yoitsu started worshipping them? Maybe something like that. Or maybe they think that Yoitsu is just a human city that worships the wolf god because the wolves live there in their human forms? I don't know. I really thought that we're just going to, you've drank a lot, you're going to be feeling it tomorrow. Holo smiled smugly. This amount of is nothing. I'm a wise wolf. Cut to her having a hangover, but we get a little bit more. And the number 3 face on her. Yeah. She's just dying. Water in a basin, of course. Plenty of trade going on. With plenty of different stuff, some fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, fish, pottery, chickens, rabbits, or rabbit-looking creatures, because they don't look like rabbits, really, or bunnies, or anything like that. Vreo torandia voripitora, le spandiamir duanderge, piregi bao. It really sounds Italian. Or, well, looks Italian. Because their pronunciation is anything but. Interesting that we, for the first time, see some different language, right? All this time, everybody's been using the same language, which I assume is something like, maybe not global, but this kingdom uses this language. Maybe something like that. And we have a friend preaching about what a blessing Pitola's mountain god is. This is what happens as soon as they know I understand their language. Okay, so it's like a language of just the Pitola region? Or a Pitola town? No, it wouldn't. A single town would not have its own language, would it? It has to be a whole region. I don't know. Maybe a region, even inside of the kingdom, that got conquered by the kingdom. The global language, the common tongue, that's what's usually it's called, right? The common language, the common tongue, or just the common, was imposed upon them, but the true believers of Pitola still remember the Pitola language. Maybe. And I'm having trouble keeping my face straight saying the word Pitola, because pitol in Polish slang is essentially diminutive for dick. So, and Pitola actually means that of pitol. So, yeah, the more you know. Oh, that was an ugly laugh. Yeah, there actually may be more profit from a mountain god than from a god that just sits in its temple. And of course, Lawrence would know something about it, wouldn't he? Gods of harvest are usually beauties, indeed. Profitable proposition: nails. 200 nails for pate long. Pate is probably something like an inch, maybe. 200 nails, 5 pate long. Guaranteed quality, right? 10.5 lumione. All the unnecessary swords and armor are being melted down. Yeah, that doesn't really make much sense, does it? First of all, you need fuel to warm your houses, which, right? With winter coming, you're gonna need more of it. So you will only make the necessary things. The blacksmiths are only gonna make the necessary things instead of just randomly smelting some armor into nails, right? And besides, again, armor and weapons are not perishable, are they? So it makes no sense to just melt them down if you can keep them and wait until their price rises. It's a much more sensible solution. Actually, I wonder what happened to Lawrence's weapons and armor. Did he sell them for on a loss? Did he give them away as a part of the of his debt payment? I don't know. 13 lumione. Okay, that's a profit, I assume. Cash, of course, yeah. And an apprentice. That have we seen this boy in the opening? Probably not. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think it was someone else. Oh, I think we've seen him in the scene in the opening where this dude, where he was dancing with his wife, and I think this boy was dancing with some girl around his age. I want to go north, right. We're staying until the festival ends. Gonna meet up for some drinking and talking. Now, I really don't see any armor here. Some wood. Either precious wood like ebony or something, or firewood they take with them. Some fabric. Or it could be, I don't know, a tarp to cover their carts. And the boxes of nails. The difficulties don't stop just because you become a town merchant. Yeah, and arguably the difficulties are different, right? When you're a traveling merchant and you have some wares, you can always travel somewhere where the wares are more expensive. If you stay in town and the price of the wares that you're selling crashes, well, you can't exactly go anywhere else to sell them. You have to sell them where you are. It would be best, actually. It would be beneficial to have some sort of a cooperative of a town merchant and a traveling merchant, right? Like owning the same store, but one of them travels and maybe brings some wares from places where a regular town merchant cannot acquire them because maybe the merchants going through the city are not willing to sell them. But he can dispatch the other merchant safely, somewhere else to purpose acquire certain specific things. And similarly, if something doesn't sell in the town, the traveling merchant can just pack it on the cart and go somewhere with it to sell it for more profit. It would actually be the best solution for a town merchant, wouldn't it? Nice to settle down. Yeah, sure. He probably thinks that Lawrence is touchy on the subject, right? Probably. And yeah, more drinking, of course. Never enough booze. Hometown of Yoitsu. And the closest city is Nyohira. Nyohira, famous for hot springs. And interesting that Nyohira is further north than Yoitsu, like much further north, seemingly. I really thought that Yoitsu is like north, like beyond the fucking ice caps area, like tundra, right? With some forest, but mostly just snow and ice. Interesting to see that it's not quite as far north after all. Also interesting because this country, right, is in the south, and it's organizing those expeditions up north, right, to conquer the pagan lands, essentially. Seeing how Yoitsu has not been conquered, and yet Nyohira is often visited by people because of the healing springs and whatnot, that would imply a much better connection between the north and south than I thought, right? All this time I thought that it's more of a, I don't know, Game of Thrones wall situation where the north is essentially off limits, right? Nobody sane goes there. That's where the gods and the monsters and the dragons live, and we have to conquer that unholy land inch by inch, right? This sort of a thing. But apparently it's perfectly, whatchamacallit, perfectly civilized. They have towns, they have their own hot springs, they do business, so not quite as wild as I thought it would be. And seeing how Yoitsu is even closer south, right? That means it's not just some shoddy settlement of wolves, but rather a nice and proper city. 2 days with my legs, so probably a month. Yeah, a month by cart. We won't be able to travel easily once it begins to snow, right? And you don't know where exactly Yoitsu is either. It would be useful if there were roads, but I'm not sure if there are roads between cities up north. Can you go home on your own once we reach Nyohira? Yeah, and of course Holo's feelings of not wanting to be left alone immediately flare up. Because what she thinks, and what probably Lawrence meant, let's be honest here, that's probably what he meant right from the get-go. Or maybe not, actually. But what he said can be understood as, I'm gonna bring you to Nyohira, then sayonara, you're on your own. Right? That's how it could be understood. Yeah, thankfully he was able to correct himself later, not on time, right? So it sounds like an excuse, And I understand Holo's feeling right now. He should have said it right from the get-go. But at least he clarified enough that, yeah, you know, I can wait in Yohira, you go to Ryoitsu, you figure out where exactly it is, you come back for me, and we go together, right? So that we don't get lost in the snow with a cart and shit, but rather we know where to exactly go. Which is a good plan. Don't get me wrong, but he really should have mentioned it right from the get-go. Well, I did say that kindness is what matters in males. It will be troublesome if you are overly concerned. Cannot help but measure things by my own standards. Right, like, for her, it's just 2 days of running. For him, it's a month-long trek with a cart. That's a difference. For her, a month-long trek is not really that much. It's just a fraction of her lifespan. For him, it's 1/12 of a year. Right? There is a difference. Humans grow old in a blink of an eye. A year is extremely valuable in such a short time. Right. And of course, yeah, don't mind me. I'm just speaking drankly, teehee. And this fucking symbolic shot, symbolic cut with the life of a human burning out, 1, and 2, the log that they made that was kept together just snapped. Not permanently, you know? Not forever, absolutely not. But for a moment, they kinda lost this sort of a connection. Their relationship kinda snapped right now. It's gonna rebuild very soon. No doubt about it. It's not a permanent damage to their relationship. But at this moment, there was that snap. And we get the ET. Plenty of apples, plenty of holo, plenty of eating. Couple of other cities I see. The one up north looks very strongly fortified. I don't think it's the Vatican, or maybe it is. I don't know. Could be. The city they're in right now, the town is probably symbolized by the effigies, and then we have some city in the top left with a, I think it's a tower just cut off the top. And at the bottom we see another town with weird towers in it, some water mill, and a mountain with a hole. That's gonna be interesting. I guess this is the path they're gonna take, right? Maybe. Next episode, Bird Feather and Mysterious Ore. Bird Feather because probably her accessory becomes relevant somehow, and Mysterious Ore, my bet is on Pyrite. We'll see, of course. Right. But we'll see in the next episode. Right now, that's gonna be it. But before it really is it, I want to check the voice actors really quick. The new ones that we're getting, or at least the ones who are listed on AniList. Diane Rubens. That's the noble lady who's voiced by Akeno Watanabe. And Akeno Watanabe voiced Izuku Midoriya from Boku no Hero Academia. Feng Jin, the fat lady from Witch from Mercury. She voiced anybody else? Nemuri Kayama from Boku no Hero Academia. And Hamsuke from Overlord. A lot of roles. Jiro from Boku no Hero Academia. She's voicing a lot of characters in BNAJ. Okay, that'll do it. And we have Fermi, voiced by Saeko Chiba. Saeko Chiba, who also voiced Nina Einstein in Code Geass, the new one at least. And in the past, Chika in Ichigo Mashimaro. Who else do we have here? Nobody I would recognize besides Chika and Nina. Yeah, but her roles go way, way back. Okay, she's been performing in plenty of openings, though. I see. Opening to Rosario to Vampire, insert song to Rosario Vampire, Strike Witches theme song, more Rosario Vampire. Okay, gotcha. Those are our new voice actors, at least, again, the ones who are listed on AniList. Not all of them often are. I wonder if I should be going through my theories right now. You know what? Sure. It's a midpoint through the season. Let's see how much I got correctly, how much I did not. The young girl from the beginning of episode 1 is Hollis and Lawrence's daughter. We don't know that for sure. Hollis, probably. Lawrence's, probably, but we don't have a full proper confirmation. Holo living in Wheat is a plot point. Wheat lost, stolen, destroyed, not yet. Lawrence lost his wife, fiancée, sister to the wolves. We don't know that. Holo lost someone to a human attack. We don't know that. Meatsving is the HQ of church. I have no fucking clue what that place was named. Maybe Meatsving. Treni Mint is hoping to increase perceived value of their coin by having people buy it out to offset the decrease in physical value. What was that scheme actually? It wasn't the Treni Mint doing that, it was the country. I don't think it was it. Correct me in the comments. If I was actually correct with this theory, let me know in the comments. Or if I was incorrect, also let me know, because I'm honestly not sure. Shepherds are somehow magical, kinda, sorta, but not really. There is a war or some other geopolitical conflict brewing, maybe. Armor craft god from Poroson is Fahe? Fake. Fake, or something else is wrong with it. No, actually. It was a perfectly fine armor, just the price of it crashed. Church is messing with Lawrence because of Nora. No, it wasn't Church actually who was messing with him. It was his debt. Remero is on the brink of bankruptcy. They see Kraft's debt as a last chance, basically. Nora somehow helps get Kraft out of debt. Yep. Remelio tries to double-cross Kraft. Yep. Remelio Trading Company is Church's honeypot. I don't think so. They would not have financial issues if they were. Kraft experiences character growth, figures out he's not as useless as he thinks, has his own strengths, not in specific terms. Grain from Holo's pouch runs out or is running out, 10-year debt of Remelio becomes relevant, and the rest are theories from today's episode. So that'll do it. Right. Good episode. Nice beginning of a new core. Right, we are in a new city, we meet some new characters, we trade with some new stuff, right? New circumstances, new everything. It's nice to see. It's nice to... The nature of this show, being a traveling merchant show, is very good because in every arc is very, like, separate, but not artificially so, right? Like, in some shows, in some stories in general, you might have an arc. Let's say it's, I don't know, a story set at a magical school, right? You have an arc of someone wants to destroy the school, our main characters stop that someone. And that arc ends, and we start the next arc of tournament or exams or something. And the fact that our main characters save the school from being destroyed just stops being relevant, right? Because it's a new arc, we're doing new stuff, all that stuff is just gets forgotten. It's nice that they are traveling because we can not so much forget what happened in Vatican, right? Not so much just discard Nora's existence, because I really think that both of those things will be relevant in the future. But we are, again, new city, new people, new characters, new circumstances, new issues, new opportunities, right? All of that comes in naturally with the travel. We don't need to artificially discard something, right? We don't need to make the shift of armor doesn't matter anymore. Now nails is what matters, right? And then nails, forget nails. Nails doesn't matter. Nails don't matter anymore. Now it's all about pyrite, right? We don't need to do anything like that because thanks to the travel, and it's really nice. It's really nice to see them traveling, seeing more and more of the world, and meeting new people. That's a very interesting, very cool part of this show, because every person that we meet that is, named and introduced and interacts with our main characters has their own character, has their own goals, motivations, and their own arc to go through, right? Nora went through her own arc, Yarei went through his own arc, Jeren, I guess to a degree. Now I have no doubts that Fermi is going to go through his own arc. Maybe the noble lady, Diane Rubens, that we're gonna meet in the future. Maybe Lawrence's friend, the wheat merchant, he might go through some sort of an arc. Maybe expand his store thanks to partnership with Lawrence, stuff like that, right? So it's always nice seeing new people, because I'm always curious in which way their story will go, how will they change, what kind of stories do they have to tell us. So that was really nice about this episode. I love the banter between Holo and Lawrence. That's just amazing. I love the relationship, how much they're willing to, rib one another. And it's not just one-sided, right? I was... for some time, I was afraid that it's just going to be Holo teasing Lawrence, right? That's just gonna be it. Holo's gonna tease Lawrence. Lawrence is gonna blush and be like, no, I did not think that, right? I thought it's going to be something like that, but no. He actually responds in kind, and I really appreciate it. It's very easy to make a relationship that is just one-sided, right? You have one character who's teasing the other, and the other character might try to tease once, but then gets laughed out and it's just played out as comedy, and that's where it ends. Not so much here. They really work as a pair, as a couple, as a relationship. They really truly do, and I love to see it. I really do. I wonder if the fish are maybe going to be relevant somehow. I guess dried fish would not be a bad thing to trade, especially nowadays that winter is coming, right? If you could procure some dried salted fish and sell it a little bit later in a town maybe further south, where or further away from. I don't think those fish come from the sea. I think they come from a lake or a river. But yeah, somewhere more inland, you could probably sell those fish with much profit because they're much more of a luxury good. But we're going north, so probably not. Although maybe, I don't know, assuming bodies of water are always frozen up north, they cannot fish, so bringing them dried salted fish might actually be beneficial. We'll see. Something tells me that the client of Fermis might also be relevant somehow. Who would need this many fish, right? Like 3 cartfuls of fish, essentially, and those are not small carts. Someone's trying to monopolize fish? Probably not, because there are still fishermen who have them. There's an abundance of fish. I'm trying to figure out what this current arc is gonna be, it usually revolves around some commodity that they're trading. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's only the first episode of this core, so it's a little bit early to make any sort of predictions like that, isn't it? But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this episode from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. Say so in the comments down below. What did you think of them? No spoilers, please. I beg of you. Spoilers can go to my Discord here, also in the description below. like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Spice and Wolf, but also Washio, Shy Season 2, and plenty other shows coming in the future. You can check the VOD, it's gonna be somewhere here, maybe, or on my channel. But the seasonal stream, I went through some shows that I might be watching, and you might learn what shows I will be watching from there. Support the channel if you want. Click the bell to be notified when I do go live, and support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube, down below. On Patreon for $10 a month, you get early access to Washio and other non-seasonal shows, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me directly on YouTube, membership, super thanks, super chats, and if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and helps the channel a lot. And now, with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Without a Net, Zerena, Yukiala, Ishtamu, Dr. Ward, Frederick Young, Akamancer, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to trade any fish.